What is up, everyone? What is up? Happy Sunday, happy Sunday. What's everyone up to on this Sunday? Yeah, I kind of fell off a ladder trying to do my ham radio stuff. I'm okay. But yeah, that hurt. My ego and my pride is more hurt than anything. But yeah, I'm probably going to end up renting some heavy machinery so that I can do it properly. I've been looking at booms and scissor lifts that can, get me up safely. The issue is I just don't have the wiggle room to be on a ladder. That's what we're talking about with the radio, the ham shack and everything. I was setting up the antennas and I fell off the ladder partway up. I froze up on it getting back up, and then it was just one of those, I just, sat back and I'm like, I'm probably gonna suck it up, get some heavy machinery. I'm looking at scissor lifts and booms this week that I'm gonna have to rent. It's gonna cost me a chunk of change, but it's gonna be worth it. And there'll probably be some fun videos about it. I mean, come on! Four-wheel drive and a little scissor lift, going up that. Do you really need an excuse to use power tools? I mean, have y'all seen Home Improvement? Tim the Toolman Taylor? Arr, 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 arr. Okay, that might be a dated reference for some of you. But yeah, my pride is more hurt than anything. Definitely sore. Getting everything set up and all that with the ham station. But I'm looking to hopefully have it done by either next weekend or sometime the week after that. I want to get it done ideally before I go out to DEF CON. Just because of the time constraints and everything. But if I have to wait on it, it's not the worst thing. Hold on. Getting tired of the little spam things in the chats and all that. But yeah, my state says that I need my grounding rods 8 feet deep. That's National Electric Code. Well, not National Electric Code, but depending on your setup. But yeah, I do 8-foot ground rods by default. I've got more than I actually need for my municipality. It's one of those things where, you never can go wrong with more grounding. The main requirement, as I recall, if I recall correctly from my electrician days, was it needs to be less than 25 ohms. Generally, from where I'm around, 2 to 3 rods does the trick. So usually, like my house, when I repaired the electric and everything, I put 3 rods. Then I put another 3 rods in for the ham radio. Not that you need to do that, but it was one of those, may as well just enhance it. Speaking of ham radio, I'm working on finally getting this programmed. This is my DMR to accompany my TID H8. This is more of an analog setup, and I want to get a digital mode radio. Is it digital mobile radio or digital? I think it's digital mode radio. DMR setup. I didn't get a D-Star setup. Just because the D-Stars, from what I saw, went with Kenwoods and all that, and it was a little bit too expensive. So I got to program this out, get my code plug, all of that. I've just been sitting on it for a few months. What's up, Hans? Get your boyfriend out. He sucks with tools. He's not the best when it comes to being handy and everything. I'm the handy one. But yeah, I'm doing fine after falling from the ladder. My pride and my ego is hurt more than anything. Like I was saying earlier, I'm just probably going to end up renting a scissor lift or a boom just to finish up the antenna installs for the HF, VHF, and UHF. Even though it's going to cost me a pretty penny, it's one of those, I'd rather just rent it, have it done in a couple hours, at least have a safe platform for me to work on, secure all the wires, and just have it out of the way. Don't know if I'll start doing the HF properly before DEF CON. That's up in the air. But I at least want to get my ham station set up here. The one thing that's going to bite, of course, is if, God forbid, there is a lightning strike on the antenna, and let's say I do end up having to replace it, that's going to be a pain getting back up there to replace the antennas or the elements or anything. How's the healthcare there? Luckily, work has a good healthcare plan for me. In the U.S., it's dependent upon your employer, so that's the one thing that bites. Like, no joke, if I end up, from my lips to God's ears, if I end up doing well enough on content and everything that I can actually make that a job, I'm probably not going to live in the States. Probably going to want to move to Portugal. Just being honest. I've said that for a while. Going for cybersecurity analyst position, what do I need to know in interview as an entry role? Well, mostly it's just knowing a lot of the concepts around a lot of the technologies that are used and having the right mindset to learn things. I didn't come in as an analyst. I came in from MSP, managed service provider, building out systems, and then came into... So I've been in cybersecurity for like 10 years because I was doing networking, firewalls, and all of that, and managing it for businesses. But I didn't have the official role of cybersecurity engineer until a few years ago. So I've been in that role officially for 3 years, but I've been doing cybersecurity for 10. And to prove that point, I mean, CISSP needs you to have at least 5 years of experience if you don't have a 4-year degree to qualify, and they had no issue with my history there. Came across this book, O-Step, Operating Systems, 3 Easy Pieces. Any thoughts on it? Haven't dealt with it, so I don't have anything that I can comment on it. I haven't really looked into that. I know copper conducts more, but I've seen aluminum grounding rods. Yeah, you can use aluminum grounding rods. The problem with aluminum, in terms of electrical, is aluminum is a little bit more brittle. Particularly in regards to wiring. So there was I think a shortage of wire, copper, and I want to say late 60s, 70s, somewhere around there. Maybe I may get my timeline wrong here. So there are some houses that actually do have aluminum wiring. My advice to you, if you ever get a house with aluminum wiring, walk away from it. Walk away from it. Because you're going to have to budget immediately out the gate replacing the aluminum wire with copper, and that is not a cheap endeavor. The reason why, copper is forgiving. So if you've ever had to install an outlet and you've bent the wire, all of that, it's a little bit forgiving. Eventually, it'll give and, break off, but you can do a little bit more with it. You can mar it and all that. Aluminum, you bite into it, it will break off pretty easily, especially on the wire sides of things. So that's why I generally prefer to use copper rather than aluminum. You can use aluminum. I wouldn't use aluminum in an electrical system, that is. In terms of like heat dissipation, things like that, yeah, aluminum's okay. But in terms of, things that potentially could be moving or you're going to have to service quite a bit, no. And the thing about aluminum wiring inside of a house, that's not an opinion that is exclusive to me. That is the opinion that was literally taught to me as well when I did study to become an electrician many years ago. That was literally what several teachers said whenever they're like, yeah, if you ever have to deal with aluminum wiring, replace it. Like, don't even bother servicing it. It's such a pain in the butt. It'll be a lot more work, but that's just how it is. How do you find out if a house has aluminum wire? You have to inspect it. So just like anything, when you go to get a house, you inspect it. But aluminum wire, it's pretty straightforward to tell what's aluminum wire if it's in your house. It's just a matter of when you actually go to service some part of the electrical system, you will tell it's aluminum rather than copper. It's pretty straightforward to see if it's copper or not. That's the honest truth about it. It's not really a complex process. What's so good about Linux? Just curious. Well, let's put it this way. Linux, high level, open source. You don't have to deal with corporate BS, so you can get the operating system to the way you want. There's no bloatware out the box. You can customize it. I think I already said that. Customize it to however you want. There's no real spying on you like Microsoft is doing for all these different things. And another thing that you'll notice with Linux, as to opposed Windows, everyone has the common understanding of Windows will slow down over time. We've bought our computer brand new, we've installed the operating system, and we get that experience where after we've built it a period of time, it feels slower than when we originally got it. Everyone has that understanding. Linux, you'll actually notice the opposite. Your box on Linux may actually get faster over time because people are optimizing a lot more parts of the system and getting more in depth with it. Why does Lenovo follow you, or do you work for them? It's because back in my MSP days, I actually was talking great things about Lenovo. I still recommend Lenovo computers. They're a great company. Not to say, like, only use Lenovo, but whenever, people ask me what's a good all-arounder computer, especially like kids going to college, I regularly recommend a Lenovo ThinkPad, specifically the ThinkPad line of computers. Their warranty is great. You can literally buy a ThinkPad, get a 5-year warranty on it with next day service, and it's cool because you can literally have a Lenovo tech come to your place to fix your machine, and in the worst case scenarios that I've seen, you'll get a next day depot. But yeah, I have no real issues with Lenovo. The only complaint that I really have, and it's not really their fault per se, is if you're doing any government contracting in the US, you cannot use Lenovo. You must use an American company, so that would be something like System 76, Dell, HP. It has to be an American company when you're dealing with federal contracting and stuff like that. When I used to service some customers that were doing federal contracts, that was an explicit requirement from them. But yeah, let's catch up on the chat. It tastes like what tastes like Coca-Cola? That's just a random thing. I have a Bluetooth adapter, kind of an off-brand cheap one, and it works in terms of output, but whenever I open the recorder with my external microphone as input, but when I do that, my your adapter's disconnecting. Unfortunately, Bluetooth can be kind of iffy depending on the adapters you have. Generally, that's why I default to using Intel wireless cards that have the Bluetooth built in, because they do a little better, decent job. So it could be an issue of, the device you're using, but more likely, the device being the microphone, but more likely it's the actual dongle itself just is not capable of handling it for whatever reason. I even tried on Linux and same thing happens. Yeah, then that's a hardware issue. That is definitely a hardware issue. I don't know if it's very unlikely, but there might be a firmware update for it, but it's definitely a hardware issue with the dongle itself. If it's having the same exact behavior on Windows and Linux with disconnects and stuff like that, that's unfortunately all I can tell you. It tastes like a Coca-Cola aluminum wire. Oh, okay. I've installed Linux onto so many PCs that won't upgrade to Windows 10. Linux is superior. Yeah. I've generally liked Linux for a lot of my things. The only time I've installed Windows is when I need compatibility for certain apps that just for whatever reason don't run on on Linux. And there's a lot more people that I keep having hit me up or talking in the Discord or just chatting, and I'm seeing that are like, my computer's perfectly fine. I can't upgrade to Windows 11, so Linux it is. And I think Microsoft is really screwing themselves over there because I think they're still in this mindset that like when Windows Vista came around, people just accepted they couldn't go from XP to Vista necessarily, and many people just bought new computers. But a lot of things have changed. Thank you for that follow there, Phonetic. I think that's how you say it. But a lot of things have changed since the Windows Vista complete overhaul, when they had the Windows drivers and, new requirements and everything that, made a lot of people kind of weary of going to Vista. Was when Vista came around, a lot of people accepted they had to go to Vista. I was one of the few people that was like, no, screw this. I'm going full Linux at this point if I have to change everything. But Linux, back in the Vista era, was not ready for a lot of people in the mainstream to be able to use it as a daily driver. You still had to have a little bit of know-how back then. What are we talking about? Close to, I want to say 20 years ago, give or take. But now, the world has completely changed, where Linux is more accessible for the mainstream. That before it used to be, most people didn't know what Linux is. Now the issue, the question has become not what is Linux, but why should I use Linux? So they're now aware of Linux, but they're not aware of why they should use it. And then you're starting to see Valve, pour tons of money into it. So they're, you've got the Steam Deck and everything like that. And more people are actually open up to using Linux as a daily driver, especially considering 20 years ago when Windows Vista came around, most people were running applications on Windows or Mac or Linux locally. Today, we're running applications in web browsers for the most part. I mean, there's of course, differences with games and stuff like that, but the overall world of how we use computers is completely different, and Microsoft has really been shooting themselves in the foot, because they're like, okay, you have Windows 10, we're gonna have these new requirements for Windows 11 that you're gonna have to have a TPM installed. Oh, you don't have a TPM, so you're gonna have to go buy a new computer. And people are like, wait, my computer is perfectly fine, it does everything I need, why should I have to go buy a whole new computer? And I think, to add insult to injury right now, a lot of people are feeling the pinch from inflationary costs. We've all seen how expensive groceries are and everything like that. That the last thing that you want to do right now is go out and buy another computer if your current computer is perfectly fine. A lot of buying habits around computers, I think, has radically changed. Because also, it was years ago we accepted, oh, you want to get that major performance boost and everything, you're going to have to get a new computer. Whereas now, you're seeing incremental increases in performance rather than major performance increases. And I think that is also driving things. Let's see. Yeah, I got a ThinkPad, and it's perfect for Linux. ThinkPads are pretty solid for Linux. I know a lot of people that actually get ThinkPads even for free BSDs and other BSDs as well. They're a pretty solid brand for those kind of things. The honest truth is, I tell people, you want to go stick to the business lines of laptops anyway, whether it's Dell, Lenovo, or HP. But Lenovo is generally a good overall value computer for a lot of people, unless you're looking for something niche or boutique. Like my latest laptop is from Tuxedo Computers. I've gotten laptops from System 76. I have this MNT Pocket Reform, which I'm hoping will be cracking open in a little bit here, because I need to get that ready for DEF CON. I think someone asked me, I think I saw that going through, Black Hat. Nope, not going to Black Hat this year. Black Hat's too expensive. Probably be out there for DEF CON, though. Purchase 75 Lenovo small form factor and laptops. Yeah, I like their stuff. What can be done about games that have anti-cheat? Can this be implemented on Linux? So there are games that run anti-cheat on Linux. Warframe has an anti-cheat. That works on Linux. Halo Combat, Halo Master Chief Collection, that has an anti-cheat. Works on Linux. A lot of the games that I actually do play on Linux have anti-cheats. But it's an issue of the developers need to get it enabled for Linux. So it's a developer issue, not so much a Linux issue. Let's see. Next is thoughts on Fujitsu laptops. I bought a few secondhand Fujitsu. They're a Japanese brand and assembled in Japan. Yeah, Fujitsu is pretty good. You just don't see them very commonly in the States, but Fujitsu, when I do come across them, they're pretty solid brands. I really don't have any complaints with them. It's just they're not that common. I used to see them way more a few years ago. But yeah. I used Zoom and Ubuntu GNOME Wayland, and it barely works, and it doesn't even open hat most of the time. Yeah, there are some issues with Wayland and Zoom. That's definitely a Zoom limitation. Not much that can be done there except getting Zoom to actually get on their game and fix things. Wayland still, like, Wayland's mature. And it will eventually, I think, replace X11, but we're not there yet for everything, which is why I still use it for a lot of my things. That'll probably change in a few years. But X11 is archaic and needs to be moved on from, because it's designed from a bygone era. Visa was a good idea, but terrible implementation. Oh, do you mean Vista? Vista, yeah, Vista was a horrible implementation, and some of the things, like the driver signings and all of that, were okay. It was just horribly mishandled. That and what was it, the HDCP issues, where you literally couldn't play content unless you had the right cables, or as cables and monitors and all that stuff. Slackware in 1997 was my first dabble. Yeah, Slackware was one of the first Linuxes I dabbled with as well, when a family friend showed me it. But I've been more into the Debian size of things. But yeah. Do you keep notes while working on a project, working on a media server, and I wonder about remembering some of these commands? It depends. Sometimes I do, most of the time I don't. A lot of the things I remember is through repetition and memory, and the honest truth is, as many years as I've been in the field, and this is something you'll find from a lot of professionals, we're still refreshing our memory to look up different commands and having to re-look things up. You know, as, you know, some of the older people in the field will tell you, I've forgotten more than you probably know about this field. And that's a very true statement as you work in this field longer and longer and longer. I'm kind of curious your thoughts on anti-cheat games like Valorant. Is there some hurdle on Linux? The hurdle is getting those developers to support it on Linux, but they keep making BS reasons they don't want to. It can be done, but the honest truth is what I tell people, if you want to have more developers support games on Linux, then play games on Linux. And I've many times, and I know other friends that do this too, if we can't get a game to run on Linux, we'll refund it and give the reason of doesn't work on Linux. And developers do get that feedback, from my understanding. And if you get enough people saying, I'm not going to play this unless it runs on Linux, they're going to see that hurt. And with the Steam Deck being as prominent as it is, that's becoming more of a powerful argument, because a lot of people that buy Steam Decks don't want to necessarily install Windows on it just to play a video game when they bought this device and they want it the official Valve way. Because Valve, you know, like, while you can install Windows on the Steam Deck, Valve won't support the device if it's in Windows. At least not properly. They'll be like, hey, if it works, great. If not, kind of on your own. That's at least my understanding of it. What's the difference between BSD and Linux? Well, they're cousins to each other. They're all from the Unix-like operating systems. So in the Unix-like operating systems, the most popular ones are Mac OS, Linux, and the BSDs. So BSDs is Berkeley Software Distribution. They are one of the older ones that comes around. Now, the reason why I like BSD, because I use BSD in my firewall. pfSense runs on BSD. I like PF, the way they do networking, the whole stack in there, better than the way Linux does with NetFilter and IP tables. It's just an easier way to manage things when you're doing a lot more stuff. That being said, I still default to Linux a lot of times. It's just when I'm doing network routing and stuff like that, BSD is a little bit easier to deal with. I forgot what the exact reason was, because I got into this a few years ago. I think it's that it also is not just the processing, but the parser side of things and all that. Whereas if you've ever had to deal with IP tables, it can be a headache. It can be a headache and a half to manage all your IP tables. So a lot of times on my systems, the Debian type systems, I'm often installing UFW uncomplicated firewall to manage my IP tables, and then maybe having to use IP set to manage large lists inside of IP tables, because if you're managing large lists and IP tables, it gets really slow. Whereas PF, it's just a little bit more performant on a lot of those things for networking. Black Hat is really nice if your employer pays for it. That's the key, if your employer pays for it, because last I checked, Black Hat is about 3 Gs for a ticket. It's a very, very corporate-y type event. Like, you're going to get all the corporate companies that want to, get your attention there. Your CrowdStrikes, your Proofpoints, your, Cloudflares and all that. And they throw parties and all that, and what was it, as my manager called it? It's a bit more hoity-toity. Speaking of Proofpoint, for those of you that are not in the wider screen formats, Proofpoint Bluetooth speaker with RGBs. Yeah. I keep that here just because it looks nice. Nice little free swag. They they charge $3K. Yeah, a lot of corporate events are expensive. Like, you've got RSA, you've got, there's a few cybersecurity big events that they're not cheap to go to. What about gaming laptops? I'm generally not a big proponent of gaming laptops per se. I technically have a gaming laptop from Tuxedo Computers, because it's got an NVIDIA 4070, 96 gigs of RAM, 2 terabyte NVMe, and an AMD Ryzen 8845HS. It's technically a gaming laptop. But I got that package because I want to do video editing, some LLMs, and all that on the go. Basically, a lot of the stuff that I do in this desktop, but on the go. And the issue with a lot of gaming laptops, and this isn't vendor-specific complaint, they don't do a really great job often with thermals and venting and a bunch of other things. And, I mean, if you're in a pinch where, you're mobile, you don't have much space, things like that, I mean, yeah, a gaming laptop totally is fine. I understand, the economics of I can't afford multiple computers. I understand that argument. I'm not disputing that argument. But I'm talking about if given the option, a desktop is a better choice for those things. But even I had to get something a little bit more mobile. I would just make sure to check out devices that have been reviewed for good thermals and being able to dissipate a good amount of heat. Sometimes even consider popping them open and repasting the thermal paste, because usually a lot of OEMs don't do great thermal paste. So usually I'll drop like Thermal Grizzly, was it Cryonaut? Cryonaut. Conductonaut is the one you don't want to use unless you're doing the, because that's the liquid metal and all that. I mean, that's if you're, delitting and all that stuff. But yeah, the Thermal Grizzly Cryonaut on there works pretty well. But again, that's dependent upon the thermal performance of the heat dissipation inside the laptop. I answered the Black Hat costs. Windows games that use EAS that have secure mode or whatever disabled works with Proton. Yeah. I don't have any issues with Wayland, really. Had some issues with Discord, but seemed to be mostly fixed. I'm also on AMD GPU, though. Well, Discord has actually been on it. Weirdly enough, Discord is actually... because I pay attention to the updates that come through. I don't know the specifics, but I just noticed that there's quite a bit of progress and effort on the Discord side to make sure of compatibility, which is interesting that Zoom and the corporate companies don't do that as much. But I digress. To be fair, Zoom and stuff you can always run through the browser, but then I don't really like that experience as much. Why would you move to Portugal? Well, I like the way of life, the cost of living, and the wine selection, amongst other things. Yeah, I already visited there once, and part of my family actually can trace back to the Spanish Inquisition through Portugal. So it's interesting. You know, just checking that out in the community that was out there. How many laptops do you currently have? Too many? I get a lot of laptops secondhand from people that are just like, hey, I'm getting rid of this laptop. Do you want it? I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll just take it. And sometimes never do anything with it. I got this little guy right here. I guess we can crack that open. This is the MNT Pocket Reform. It's a custom little laptop here. I'm hoping to make this into my daily laptop here. The battery's like dead on it. It's a custom little laptop from MNT. It's an extremely open source laptop. Let me at least turn this on and show you. It's fully right to repair friendly. Okay, so now we got some juice. And let's see. It's got a Raspberry Pi 2040 as a system controller, fully mechanical keyboard, trackball for the mouse. You can control the keyboard RGBs with the trackball and holding the hyper key over here. It's an ortholinear format, so it's a little bit different. Aluminum case. Now what I did was I worked with PCBWay to have a custom backplate machined with my logo on it. That was to really improve thermals because it was getting a little bit warm, as well as wanted to customize it. The CPU is upgradable. It's got an ARM CPU in there. Technically, they could, you know, release a RISC-V package in there. After DEF CON, I'll probably get their RK3588 CPU, which is the one I really want. So that way I can upgrade from the iMX8M Plus quad-core with 8 gigabytes of RAM and what does this have, like 32 gigabyte eMMC, I think it is. You can also add an NVMe into this, but the RK3588 comes in two flavors. You can either get it in it's an octa-core CPU, but you can get it either in 16 gigabytes of RAM or 32 gigabytes of RAM. And respectively, you can also get it with 128 gigabytes of eMMC or 256 gigabytes of eMMC. And the reason why I didn't get that fix the Wi-Fi dropping issue, not yet. That's what we're gonna try to see about fixing. Now, I know the RK3588 is gonna fix that because they have a package that I showed before that you replace the headphone jack little PCB and they add another internal USB slot, which turns into an M.2 for the Wi-Fi card that you can plug in to get better Wi-Fi performance. Cracked the screen on my laptop while doing FT8 portable today. Time to get a new laptop. Oof. See, that's the reason why I want to, when I do a POTA with my ham setup, which I'm hoping to get a mobile setup with like a Yaesu FTX1 for ham radio. I want to get a used laptop. That's one of the rugged laptops. You don't need like brand new. You don't need that much power when it comes to ham radio and everything, which is why I think getting one of those old Dell or Toshiba Toughbooks would be perfect. But as you can see, this is the laptop over here. So this is the CPU package over here. And the issue is the Wi-Fi antenna is over here. But also the Wi-Fi card in this is not the greatest. So one of the things we are going to try doing is... I have no idea if this is actually going to work, but we are going to try it. I got these laptop Wi-Fi antennas here. Here, unwrap that. There's two of them. I only need one. They're quite a bit long. I mean, they're quite lengthy compared to the old one. Oh, SharePoint. Another SharePoint vulnerability. Another day, another SharePoint vulnerability. Alright, let's do a quick check. Yep, that looks like the same connector. So we're good there. So, where I'm curious... lift off the little connector here. Let's be gentle. Looking around for tweezers, and I'm like, yeah, they should be in the freaking iFixit kit. Because if the Wi-Fi doesn't work well on this laptop, I'm just going to keep it behind. And then I'll hopefully have it set up for next year. Not that I don't have other laptops that I can use. Go. Lift that connector up. Not sure if I'm gonna like completely remove the antenna, but we'll at least reuse this little cap they have here that came with the new antennas, just to cover that up. Let's see. Pop! OS is really what I tell people to install for easy button Linux. Any other recommendations? I know probing for the 100th time. I generally recommend Pop! OS, but you know, there's also like Linux Mint. That's another one people that is pretty popular. Let's see. Need to turn some more light on over here. Let's get the right key light over here. Brighten that up a little bit. I do like these Elgato key lights because you can control them a little bit better. So there's a front bezel over here. These all look like the same screws. I'm gonna have to be careful with the magnets. One, it's pulling the screws. Two, I gotta make sure they're in the right orientation when I close the lid. Yeah, I just don't like... The reason why I don't like Mint, and it's more of a personal preference kind of thing, just to make this very clear, the problem that I run into very often is people, you know, they want to go with what they're familiar with. And I understand that mentality of like, hey, I came from Windows, I want something that looks like Windows in certain terms of Linux. The problem is people really don't understand how bad the user interface and user experience of Windows is compared to a lot of the desktop environments out there you can choose with Linux. And with Linux, you have the power of freedom. You have the power to, you know, make a choice. Yep, that's what I was afraid of. Not a big deal. Magnets just popped out. I can slot them back in. The bezel just keeps them slotted in. 2 are okay over here. The other 2 just came out, so I got to make sure they're in the right orientation. So while I am here, we can actually take this little plastic off. So there's a little plastic layer. And what I'm thinking of doing... If the wire's running from underneath here, I could attach it to there. I'm just thinking. So, let me see if I can show you this a little bit better. I'm trying to figure out where to mount the antennas over here. Is there a track point you can get for... You mean a trackpad? It doesn't have a trackpad. Their larger laptop, the MNT Reform, has a trackpad. If you visit Black Hat, can you ask for a job or internship? I mean, if you run into the booths, it's a possibility for the different vendors. I'm going to replace my laptop with a mini PC 12 VDC and a Pelican case for ham radio. Oh, so you're just going to make yourself a cyber deck for it? I can respect that. So I'm wondering... I mean, I could attach it to this over here. The little plastic. But I'm not sure I necessarily want to do that because it's probably going to be a pain to remove it later. However, just thinking out loud here, I do need to get the cell antenna. So that's the one thing I am going to need to figure out. Okay, so I could... Okay, so this... That's got that little blob over there. Try this differently. I'm just going to put a couple of screws on here to hold the bezel in. A trackpad pointing stick thing. Well, I don't think you can do that because I think that's an IBM patented thing, but it could have expired. I mean, theoretically, you could, you know, hack anything to do whatever you wanted, but... Let's see if I can take these 2 screws off the PCB over here. And what options does that give us? Okay. Let's just pull this out for a second. So this is the piece that's actually going to get replaced with the new CPU upgrade. So I'm just trying to figure out how I can do this without overcomplicating things. I may not finish this tonight, but I'm just at least exploring. How's the touchscreen on it? This doesn't have a touchscreen. I don't like touchscreens for different devices. Grubby hands. Videos, good. A small question. When exactly you stream? Usually, I have a set schedule of Sundays, Mondays, and Wednesdays, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sometimes a little earlier, sometimes a little later, depending on life. But I try to add additional streams when possible as well. For the past few weeks, it was kind of difficult for the Wednesdays because I had a class that I was doing, which I've just finished up. Of course, with DEF CON coming up, there will be no streams during that week. So. Let's try. Thought you were rolling up there. Nope. I am trying to tinker with a device over here. I wish I had an overhead camera set up, because then I could actually show you what I'm doing. So I'm wondering. The big question is, can I... See, if I do that... I don't really want to have that exposed. The antenna is almost as large as... Okay. The antenna just fits. Curious if it's gonna have an issue being the slightly bulbous thing right here. Okay. Let's try that. This is the cell antenna for the cell modem I'm gonna be installing. That might work. What device is this? This is the MNT Pocket Reform. It's a very custom boutique laptop. It's a, you know, like totally custom open source device. Oh, that could work. Oh, that could work really nicely for the cell antenna. Okay, then we're just going to route that cable. Totally forgot about the magnets. Not a big deal. Just annoying. All right. Oh yeah, that's got plenty of length. That's what she said. Give me 1 second, I'm thinking about this. You know, I wish they gave me, propagation waveform of where this is gonna go. Okay, so let's see. If I can sandwich that... PCB should probably not be right there. Well, it's got an insulated end. This wire is so damn long. I'm gonna have to figure that out. What does the antenna look like? What is the part number? It's this guy over here. It's something I picked up a few months ago. Forgot what company it came from. It's kind of hard to find laptop specific antennas. Now the cell antenna is a Quectel 0.6 to 6 gigahertz FPCX2. Well, this antenna isn't specific to this laptop. It's one that I happen to find. So I figured out one cell antenna. Not that I need 2 cell antennas. One should be enough. Now I could mount this to the back of the PCB over here. I just don't know what potential issues that may arise. So the other option I have... Thank you for the compliment. Make your own dipole antenna. Yeah, I mean, that's an option. I just don't feel like doing it. Oh yeah, that plastic is going to be perfect. So I'm wondering if... What is the part number on this? The part number on this is November N2425 Delta from Tenmory. Tenmory. Never heard of this company, but now what I'm curious about is one lot. Yeah, we're gonna go with the slightly shorter antenna. That should make life easy. Well, here's what I'm thinking I could possibly do. I could attach it to the bezel here. I could totally do that. And the antenna just kind of pokes out. That should work. I don't know, because the thing is just so damn long. I wonder. Oh, there's an idea. If I just gently take off the existing antenna, move the placement. Work. And then what we can do place that right there. And what I'm curious about is if this closes, does this still have a... No, it does not. I don't know, it has plenty of gap. Yeah, that might work. Yeah, that might work. Reposition that antenna over there. Gonna have to move that just slightly. Okay, come on. Come on. Ever so gently. Here we go. Put this down as a reference. Okay, so if it's lining up over here, then I think that should. Your username is Chief too. Let's see where we get with this. I'm just trying to make sure that I have gonna be blocked just ever so slightly, but this pathway... Oh, that's perfect. Money shot. Commonly used on laptops, probably. Yeah. I'm just going to reuse this antenna for now, because what I think I'm going to end up doing is when I get the new antenna, I'll route it down over here. But what I did is, if you notice, there's this little gap over here. And I just layered down the cell phone antenna. And the PCB for the headphones is going to cover that. So I think that should do it for what I need for this. Okay, so now what we need to do is figure out our magnets. I just got to figure out the sides that stick to it. Nope. Nope. There we go. Okay, cool. So with that being said, that needs to stick in, like so. Those guys really want to move. Have you tried Echo Link yet on ham radio? Not yet. I haven't done all the fun stuff I want to do on ham until I get the Yaesu set up. Because once I get my FT991A set up, then I can, connect a laptop to it and do all the fun things I'm hoping to do. I may have to cut a little bit of that plastic. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see how this fares. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. And bezel. Good for that bezel. All right. You can talk to any repeater in the world through your phone. Oh, that seems fun. I did get my license upgraded in the past 2 weeks to general class privileges. I'm thinking of going for amateur extra. Part of the reason I wanted to get general was it's easier to do reciprocity as you travel the world. Because with the technician license, you can just do the technician-y things. But with a general class, I can talk to anyone in the world through HF, but also as I travel, it makes it easier, and then I just have to do my call sign with whatever designation the US has for that country. So that will take a little bit of planning and everything. I just, ever since the, I've always had, expect the best, prepare the worst for the worst kind of mentality. But ever since we had the AT&T and T-Mobile, outages in the past few years, and then on top of it, we had the, Spain and, was it Spain and Portugal? They both had a power outage, I think. Misha! So what I'm curious about is, does this antenna for the cell modem, well, is it, I'm just curious, what's the pattern it broadcasts out? I really wish that, now that I know all this stuff about radio, people would actually disclose more information about the antenna propagation. Because I'd like to see where the lobe is and everything. I got basic with honors, which gives me 8 full HF privileges, just power limited. So, what's basic? Like, if you mind me asking what country that is. Because in the US, we only have technician, general, and amateur extra. Technician is your entry level. Oh, Canada? Okay. Because I know with, if I were to go to Canada and stuff, I think I need a general license. Because I think you need the general for the reciprocity side of things. What licenses are you talking about? Oh, we're talking about ham radio. We haven't gotten into GMRS and all that other stuff that I actually do as well. Okay, so we've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. No, but seriously, let's see. How can we get this antenna? And there will be plenty more radio content as well coming along as I build my studio out. I do plan to get into CB and other things. While I'm at DEF CON, I'm probably going to be on the GMRS channels. But I'll also have my Meshtastic. But the only thing that is of question when it comes to this device is the wireless card itself on the IMX8M Plus. That could be of issue, because I know people were talking about that. Get my little Quectel modem over here. New ThinkPad X9s don't have track point nub anymore. Really? Well, I mean, as much as I like it, that makes sense, though. God damn it, I gotta find my SIM card that I have in one of my devices. I think it's in my Pine phone. But I'm not pulling it out for y'all to see it. So we're not gonna test the cell modem, but we're gonna at least get that installed. But while I'm here, may as well drop in the spare NVMe that I have over here. Get this guy fully loaded. It's not an inland SSD, it's, I think this is the... Yeah, I think this is the, NVMe that I upgraded from one of my other laptops. Nothing wrong with that. The 512 gigabyte NVMe Samsung. Should be fine. Alright. Now, this did not come with, screws. So, I got this little pack of here of, M.2 screws. If I want to start my first server home lab, what do you recommend purchasing? Whatever fits in your budget. When you're doing a server home lab, a lot of people get the misconception that you have to buy like proper like blade servers, things like that. A server is just a device that is serving data to the, you know, whatever clients and stuff you have. So if you just want to do Raspberry Pis or something like that, it's fine. Now, of course, it depends on the workload you're planning to do with it. That's a whole other thing. Here's my question. Go across the streams! Damn it. Okay, hold on. Now what I'm curious about is Quectel EM060K GL antenna. I don't really have much documentation for this. Okay, so let's see the wiki. Doesn't really say. Hold on. Probably, even user should install it on laptop if you really want. Yeah. Yeah, start with the Raspberry Pi. Just start small. You know, no one's home lab. This is what you have to understand. Everyone looks at like a home lab like mine, or Adjacent Node, or Kernel Dump, or, you know, like all the other creators we have, and you see these like nice home labs and everything. Nobody got there overnight. That is like multiple iterations and years of working on home labs. So start small. You know? Start small. Baby steps. EM060 KGL. Hmm. Of course, you're just... Of course, never can be easy. So this antenna is just a little bit shy of where I need it to run. We're gonna twist this around. I need to break this wire in. Alright, let's see. So I'm gonna have to install another cell antenna in here. Not a big deal. I have two. I was thinking, oh yeah, we'll get two, make it nice and pretty. Not a big deal. Nothing much, Aaron. We are just setting up, some upgrades for this little laptop over here. This will cooperate. May need another pair. Yeah, that should do it. Ever installed Linux on a Chromebook? Many years ago. Yeah, I have. I twist this a little bit, force it to get used to it. Try it this way. Being stubborn. Here, I need some more light. Well, Chromebook literally is running Linux as it is. I mean, Android is basically just Linux or Chrome OS or whatever the hell it is, but... You prick. Okay, why are you not going in? That sure looks okay. Hate these tiny little connectors. Okay, so that's the secondary connection. So we'll have to pop this back open to see about the primary. Primary, we're going to have to run it around. Alright. What distro are you interested in? I mostly like the Debian types personally. I also use Cubes OS. Cubes OS has been my main laptop that I use when I'm at DEF CON and when I need security. But most of the time I'm using Pop OS for a lot of my things. So my Tuxedo computer laptop and my main desktop are all running on Pop OS. I can get you a Cold War bunker. Look up on QRZ Victor Echo 3 Charlie Whiskey. Frickin', what the hell is M? Oh, I'm still trying to practice my NATO phonetic alphabet. I cannot remember what M is. Mike. I definitely want to attend my first upcoming DEF CON. Are you going to DEF CON this year? Because I'm going to have some stuff in my Discord with little hangouts and stuff being announced. That could work. We're going to use both cell antennas. Alright, yeah, check the Discord if you're not a member already. I have some things I'm planning. I'll probably be at the DC shoot as well. Yep. And you might run into a few other InfoSec creators there. Because I'm friends with a few, as you know. I know Kernel Dump is going to be probably palling around on a few things. I think this year, though, I have far more friends that have confirmed going this year. So not all of them are creators by any means, but I think I've confirmed somewhere in the ballpark of like a dozen of my friends are going to be there. Some of them are local friends. Some of them are friends I haven't seen all year. Or some of them are, it's going to be my first time meeting them IRL. So this should be fun. That's part of the reason why I like going to DEF CON. Is, I don't get to see a lot of my friends all year long. Yeah, I know there's like CTFs and stuff like that, and you know, things like that, but I'm more interested in tinkering around, hanging with my friends. I think one of my friends is actually looking at bringing cameras in from work to see if we can extract data off of them. They were just ones they apparently gave away after they were done. So we're just trying to see what, you know, can be pulled off of it after the fact. B-side should be fun. It looks like they had a lot of trainings out there. You can probably catch me at the pool parties. And like I always tell people, if you run into me at DEF CON, look, I am usually a chill dude, unless I am running to a specific talk that I, need to go into, that I have planned for, or something like that. I'll be more than glad to, chit-chat with you and, hang out and chat. I mean, I've done that with quite a few people. Over the years. And of course, if it's your first DEF CON, make sure to check out what we call the Lonely Hackers Club. It's an area they set up at DEF CON for people that it's their first con, so you can make friends. Because, like, don't get me wrong, like, if you run into me, I'm not, like, I have quite a few people that are, like, already saying, like, in my own personal friend group, like, can I hang out with you? Because I'm not used to it. I won't do that for everyone, not trying to be a dick, it's just, I think the honest truth is, when it's your first DEF CON, you should go out of your way to try to experience things yourself. And to be fair, Colonel Dump did the same thing to me for my DEF CON. My first DEF CON, he's like, no, you gotta go do your own thing, go explore, and then we'll catch up afterwards. Is it fine for people to take pictures of you at a distance or take video of you at a distance? Generally speaking at DEF CON, this is a very important thing. At DEF CON, B-Sides, and Black Hat as well, I believe. They have rules about taking pictures. Like, even the video that I will take, I am going to make sure to let people know as best as possible, hey, if you're in the background, I will be blurring you out in editing. Because I'm going to be getting some B-roll and all that stuff. I'm going to have my little pocket camera as well to, meet with people, get mic'd up, and then we can chat about different things. Some people, I'll be like, hey, do you want to get on camera and we can record some stuff for YouTube and stuff or make a TikTok? But generally speaking, you should go up to people and ask their permission. Always ask permission. Generally speaking, I'm not opposed to it, but make that a part of, just understanding. Ask people's permission before you take pictures. And look, I'm not, some super mega celebrity. I'm just a dude that happens to have social media and everything, so y'all don't need a fanboy about me. I'm not giving my call sign out, because that would give a little bit too much info about me. Nothing against you, it's just I keep that a little bit close to the vest, understandably. That, and I think my call sign is also going to be changing, once I get around to doing the paperwork. Oh, my pleasure. That's what I'm here for. But yeah, I don't know if I will be doing any streams while I'm at DEF CON or anything. I have a friend that's running the call center village, and he has a party, I think, Saturday night at DEF CON, so you will probably catch me there. Or at least I'm gonna make an appearance. But I also think there were a couple of vendors that were at Black Hat that wanted to meet up with me outside of the Black Hat thing, so oh, motherfucker. I'm in desperate need of that training. Oh, I totally missed the Lonely Hackers Club my first time. I totally followed around the first person who I talked to. Yeah. A lot of people don't know about that quite yet. They don't do enough to socialize that actual aspect of it, but it is worthwhile to know about the Lonely Hackers Club. I know I'm going to probably be doing the RF Fox hunt, though. Because I want to do some practice on chasing down a beacon, but I'm not bringing a Yagi antenna, so I'm hoping I can borrow one there and use my transceiver. The question that I have is I'm not sure which handheld I'm going to be bringing. I may bring the Anytone, but I may bring the TIDH8. I may bring both. I still gotta like figure out the Anytone. I've been dragging ass on getting that set up. All right, so it's not pretty, but we got our cell antennas in here. And so what I did is I reused the cell antenna, the Wi-Fi antenna. I put that down here. So my understanding is it should go out the front bezel. Then I put two cell antennas, and you can't even see them. The two cell antennas are like right here. It's, like you can kind of see there's a little bit of a bulge, but I think it's just fine. Trying to make sure that I can, trying to see something because it's bulging just a little bit. I may have to take a Dremel to it just to like, it's the solder joint that they have right at the antenna. It's not the worst thing. It's like, it's a pet peeve thing. It's just, it's not flush like I would like it. I can improve this though, but the main thing is right now, seeing if this will work as intended. So we're going to take our custom backplate that I had machined by PCBWay. Again, shout out to PCBWay. They will have sponsored the video about this. Make a Yagi tape measure antenna. I've seen those. I've thought about it. The issue that I have is the space. Are you bringing your Google Pixel? Yeah. Yeah, if I run into anyone and I give you a phone number, that phone number is to that phone because that phone isn't tied to anything. I'll have my Pixel. I'll have my TikTok phone. Yeah, I have a whole separate phone just for TikTok. You can 3D print the tape measure, at tape measure. Yeah, I could do that, but I also want to get a proper Yagi. Now, what I have to do this week is I have to go looking around for what's cheaper, a scissor lift or a boom lift for rough terrain, so that I can get my ham antenna installed. Because I fell off my ladder. Luckily, I wasn't that high. And then when I got back up, I like froze and I completely forgot why I stopped being an electrician and decided to go back to tech. I have a fear of heights. And the weird thing about my fear of heights is if I'm on a ladder, I'm scared. But if I'm like climbing out on a roof and doing work and I have a stable platform, I'm fine. It's the wobbliness of the ladder that freaks me out. Have you done anything cool in a 3D printer recently? No. Unfortunately, I've been so busy, I haven't been able to really do anything with my 3D printers. Okay. We're powering her on. Moment of truth, baby! Now, I don't have a SIM card in here yet. I do have an activated SIM card from my Linux phones. I'm going to have to set up TTY and all of that stuff. But I at least got 2 cell antennas plugged in here. She's on. We got Wi-Fi. So I guess the question now is, how stable is that Wi-Fi? Because right now we're going to determine, was it the Wi-Fi antenna positioning or was it the Wi-Fi chip? And if it's the Wi-Fi chip, I'm probably going to end up leaving this behind. So the easiest way to test, we're going to ping Google. Oh, that latency is a lot better than I remember it. Okay, a little bit high. There's a one that went to 125 milliseconds. So we're going to let that ping continuously, because the issue was it would drop after a few minutes. And not only that, the Wi-Fi would be inconsistent. So, let me see if I can find my little remote over here. Yes, I know I need to clean my desk. I know I mention that like every stream. But I did at least clean my room. So as I've been telling a bunch of you, I've been, suffering with some of my ADHD spiraling out. So I actually, got in touch with, my doctor, and we're looking at getting me back on ADHD meds. Now, the dumb thing is that I have to get re-diagnosed for ADHD to get on, certain kinds of ones. But we at least got me on a non-stimulant one. Okay, where are they? Up on the floor. Like, I'm getting a few spikes here. Let me see if I can set that over there for a second. I think the remote's over here. At least put these away. Health in America. Well, it's just, yeah. I may have fixed my Wi-Fi issue. So I remember the issue with Wi-Fi was twofold. So one they were talking about was the issue with the chip overheating, which was why we had the new backplate made. That was a slightly expensive upgrade if it wasn't for PCBWay sponsoring that, which, by the way, when I make the full video talking about the MNT Pocket Reform, they will be the sponsor of that video, if you can't tell. Okay, that's what I was looking for. Yeah, the iFixit kit had it on top. So, we'll see if I can get this to zoom in. So the latency is not the best, because remember, the chipset inside of here is not the best. You're going to see, like, some spikes of, I saw a few spikes to 125, 130 milliseconds. So we've got a ping going consistently to it. So far, it's been pretty good. And the way we did this, just to clarify, was we moved the Wi-Fi antenna to, I think it's over here. It's down here. Or is it over here? It's on near one of the hinges. And then I put 2 cell antennas. So there's one over here and one over here. I wanted to go with just one, but I was a schmuck and I didn't look at which side was the master antenna. So we have the master and secondary. Oh, and the Wi-Fi just dropped. So it might be the Wi-Fi chip. Yeah, I think it's the Wi-Fi chip in here. Which was an issue everyone had. That's a bummer. Yeah, because the network just completely dropped off that it had. Although I'm curious if there were some system updates or something that can remedy that. Not like you outgrown it. Yeah, that's the one thing that like blows my mind. I got tested and officially diagnosed when I was like 5. And then like ever since it's, what? You think I'm just gonna like... Oh, and then on top of it, I have to get drug tested for my own meds and stuff. It's really jank what they have you jump through. Well, I mean, I technically could still use this laptop. It would just be cellular only if I managed to get that part set up. I'm gonna have to do that offline. I'm trying to find my IX connector for it. This is one more thing I gotta clean up. Yeah, I really gotta clean up my desk and find a few things. No USB Wi-Fi solution? I mean, I technically could, but the issue is it's got a USB C connection. So the problem is, well, see, it's seeing Wi-Fi. That's the weird thing. It's just not seeing... Okay, I know this IX adapter's around here somewhere. Problem is, it's like a small little stupid piece. Well, I still gotta set up this guy over here. That's gonna be my stingray hunter. I thought it'd be interesting to see if there are any stingrays being deployed or what we can find while we're out there. That's my soldering iron kit, Xbox controller. Yeah, I gotta clean this whole thing out. But I will say for sure, at least the ADHD meds that I'm on right now, or at least I'm noticing make me a little bit more energetic to tinker and do things. Wait a minute. No, wait. That's a different RJ45 connection. That's gonna drive me nuts. Where is my IX adapter? I mean, I have the 6-foot IX adapter. I have this little cable over here. but I don't want to, like, carry that. I want to just be able to jack in a, I don't want to get under my table right now. Because if I plug into my Ethernet over here, should... Yeah, I really need to clean up this whole desk and everything. It's a little bit insane. That's what happens when you have ADHD. You got doom piles on doom piles on doom piles, and then eventually your doom piles become doom. They consume you. Come on. Yeah, I gotta go through and organize a lot of this stuff. I found like a random back scratcher in here. I don't know if I'm bringing my lockpicks to DEF CON this year. I probably will. Speaking of DEF CON, I found my old DEF CON stickers here from DEF CON 31. And the book of stickers. Nope, those are mouse cables. You know what's annoying is I know I saw it. But what I was trying to see was if I had system updates that needed to have happen, and I could go underneath the table and pull out one of the cables if I needed to, but I didn't want to, because the last time I did that, I unplugged my stream PC on accident and killed the stream, and then like had to restart the stream. So yeah. Yeah, I still got these. So, talking about cleaning out, these were some of the vanity stickers I had from last year for DEF CON that I made and I handed out. Oh, by the way, if you do run into me at DEF CON, hey, I found the connector. Feel free to ask me for stickers. I should have stickers. I have some of the DEF CON 32 ones I had left over with my logo and stuff. And then I've got the, I've got 2 versions of Signalgate and 2 versions of phishing stickers. I'm not charging anything for them. It's just ask me for them and you will get stickers. Okay, so this was the connector I was looking for. This just jacks right in. So this laptop does not use standard Ethernet connections. Well, it uses Ethernet, but this is RJ45. So this is an RJ45 to IX Industrial, which I kind of like this connector because it's like secure. So, all right, we just jack that in. Okay. So now, let's do a sudo apt update. If I get the cell modem working on this, I may actually just use this fully as a cell connected device. Because, like, if I'm at DEF CON, I don't really want to connect this to Wi-Fi, really. Well, this particular device, the Cube's laptop, I will. What other laptop you bringing if not this one? Hold on. We're gonna do an apt upgrade on this. Okay, that's got a bunch of updates to install. So the other laptop that I'm bringing is this guy. I gotta do some updates on it, which we'll do the week before. This is my Cubes OS laptop running on a Purism Librem 14. This is from Purism. This, like I said, it's running Cubes OS. I've brought this to DEF CON 31 and 32, and this will potentially be its last DEF CON it shows up at, because I'm probably going to replace this laptop with something newer, potentially. There's nothing wrong with it. It's still a great laptop, don't get me wrong. It does everything I need, but it's just I want to, like, maybe get something to replace it, like a Nova Custom or something. Is it still nicknamed the Reasonably Secure Laptop? Uh-huh. Yep. And the next laptop will still be a reasonably secured laptop. It's just doing its upgrades. I'm wondering if there's some updates I need to do. Okay, so the Wi-Fi is reestablished on here. So the Wi-Fi was overheating in the according to a lot of the people out there. So it could be the Wi-Fi card is just overheating, and I may just, use it as a cell modem. But I'm really just needing it to do LibreOffice and little notes and all that, because then I'm going to have Cubes OS and another laptop for that. What should you do to make joining a public Wi-Fi safe? Well, really, when it comes to public Wi-Fi, now DEF CON's a little bit of a different case. DEF CON, you want to download their cert that does man-in-the-middle inspection. They have a knock and a SOC that actually is inspecting their entire network at an enterprise-grade level. So you install a cert onto your machine, and the secure network is pretty secure. Now, if you're just using a general public Wi-Fi network, then I would definitely recommend using a VPN. Ideally, it would be a VPN that you run that connects through your own infrastructure. A lot of people don't have the capability, nor the time, nor the energy to do that. So if you can't do that, getting a VPN provider is at least a decent half step. There's only two providers that I really recommend and use for VPNs. Proton and Mulvad. And I am affiliated with Proton, so if you do want to help support my work and everything, go check the links in bio, and get my affiliate links there and everything. I like the entire Proton suite: Proton Pass, Simple Login, Proton Email, everything. It's a pretty, decent suite for you to use for the average everyday user. But again, like I said, ideally you want to run a VPN out of your own infrastructure. Even I don't have the time to sit down and set that up. Because, I'd need to sit around and do my dynamic DNS and set up all those kind of things and have an entry point to connect into. But yeah, Proton's good enough. Because the problem is with public Wi-Fi is potentially people can see what's going on in your network. Potentially. Now, again, with DEF CON, they have 3 different Wi-Fi networks when I was there. So they have the Wild West Wi-Fi, basically, which is the standard. You connect to the public network and, they're not inspecting anything. It's open. There's really no protection. Standard Wi-Fi, like you're connecting into a coffee shop network. They have the WPA2 secured, where you grab the cert after signing up. Then you install that cert to your computer, and similar to an enterprise setup, it's an 802.1x authorized setup. And then the third network is the same thing, but instead of WPA2, it's WPA3. How secure is Linux on public Wi-Fi? Better than Windows and Mac OS? Yeah, but the issue isn't really the operating system per se, so much as the sites that you are connecting to over it. So the average person, like, I shoulder surf, okay? I'm in cybersecurity, so I just do this out of habit. And I see people in airports on public Wi-Fi, connecting to some very sensitive things, banks, business stuff, all that with unprotected connections. In businesses, there's a big trend right now to move away from VPN to zero trust network access, which it's a VPN with extra steps and a lot more security and controls around it. But yeah, which, by the way, on that note, Zscaler, if you're watching my content, come on! Let me home lab that. Throw some deception my way. Let me honeynet my things. But, yeah. Should people use WPA3? WPA3 is still relatively new, so if your hardware supports it, you should. However, you're probably going to be in a situation where you're going to need to have both WPA2 and WPA3 enabled because a lot of devices still don't support WPA3 yet. But that'll probably be different in like 3 to 5 years where it's going to be a little bit more commonplace. I know at work we still use WPA2. But yeah, WPA3 has some additional securities around it and enhancements, so yeah. What mobile Kali Linux PC would you suggest people buy? I wouldn't recommend Kali on a mobile thing. If you're like getting a mobile PC, what I would say is get like a laptop and install Parrot OS. You can get a ThinkPad, you can get a Dell, or HP. I mean, it's really just more about the form factor of what you prefer. Lenovo ThinkPad's pretty solid. I also recommend System 76 and Tuxedo computers. They're great devices for tinkering and, all that stuff. But Parrot OS is a much better operating system for daily use with ethical hacking tools. Kali is not really that great of just, like, installing bare metal. Now, if you want to have Kali as a virtual machine inside your machine, that's a different issue. Kali as a VM is great. Kali as a live CD is great, or live USB is great. But yeah. What do you think of Debian and Ubuntu? I use them. Oftentimes my servers I deploy in my personal home lab is Debian or Ubuntu. Interesting. Oh, that package was just taking a while. I was just trying to figure it out. I like Debian. I use Debian mostly. My VMs inside of Cubes OS are Debian. Ubuntu... I have some philosophical issues with them. Does that make sense? So my philosophical issues basically come down to... I really don't like the approaches they've been taking on quite a few things. I feel like they're getting a little too cozy with Microsoft. That's just my opinion. You can take it or leave it. Okay, I know there was another antenna around here. One day my router decided that one day to crap itself and stop working ever again, and no restart will fix it, so I replaced it. Yep. Ever apply to a canonical job? They're insane. Yeah, I've heard stories. Um, the interesting thing is a lot of the Linux companies are really interesting to get hired to. I've learned from a lot of people some interesting stories about how difficult or troublesome it can be. Professional with years of experience. Oh, what grades did you get in high school? Yeah, I never understood that. Like, there's a company, not that I'm actively, like, looking for a new job, but I keep my options open out there. And there was one job that caught my eye, that, I was looking at, and the company is based in the UK, and they wanted to know my grades that I got in college and stuff. And I'm sitting here like, who the hell cares? Like, I got a CISSP. That should matter more. Has your router ever decided to not work properly? Yep. What do you think about NIDS Suricata Zeek and its efficacy? Well, I use Suricata in my home network. It's a little bit of work to get it initially set up to where it's effective and not giving you false positives, but I think it's definitely a worthwhile thing that should be explored. Yeah, I totally am doing Yeah, I don't understand why a lot of these international companies are so gung-ho on knowing your grades that you had in school and everything. Like, after you have your first job and you have experience for a few years, none of that should be relevant anymore, in my opinion. And it's weird because, like, Europe is like, it's not uncommon to require those things. Yeah, routers crap themselves out all the time. Not much you can do about it. Except just replace the thing. Alright, so that laptop is doing its updates right now. We have an NVMe SSD in there. So I'm wondering if I move the entire operating system off the eMMC to the NVMe, which you should do for the performance anyway. Will that actually fix the overheating Wi-Fi chip issue? Because the Wi-Fi chip is apparently, I think, overheating on the SoC. But what I'm looking to upgrade to, and I probably won't be able to get this until, well, I definitely won't be able to get it till after DEF CON. So if you go to MNT, the site that makes this, you can see they have the MNT Reform Pocket Bundle. So I need to get this antenna here. And what they do is this replaces the entire SoC package. But as you can see, the SoC package has no Wi-Fi built in. So what they do is, and this is the reason why I held off so long, they added this as part of the upgrade package now. This replaces the headphone PCB, the little thing that I ripped the Wi-Fi card off of. Because if you remember, the Wi-Fi antenna was actually right here where this little square is. Like literally exactly right on top of it. And then, yeah. So you replace this PCB here with the headphone one. Yeah, you got to replace both. So this is the entire SoC package. This, well, you don't have to. This is if you're doing the Wi-Fi card upgrade. The Wi-Fi card upgrade over here, the reason why I held off was before you would have to take over the cell modem slot that I added to have Wi-Fi installed. And I wanted my device to have both cell data capability and Wi-Fi capability. So they have this, wireless card here that I then could slap in, and that comes with it. Now, the 16 gigabyte, 128 gigabyte eMMC version is 430 euro, another 50 for that. I want to get the 32 gigabyte memory. So imagine 32 gigabytes of memory with an 8-core CPU and a cell modem and a Wi-Fi card in here. So basically it'd be packed in like this. So I want to get that, and as you can see, it'd take about 2 months to get there. Then they have the Wi-Fi antenna. Now the thing I want to get, hold on, I'll remove that. Hey, Seekney, how's it going? Where? See, I want another antenna. Yeah, so they give you a MediaTek MT7612U Wi-Fi chip. So it's the Asia RF over there. So it's a slight upgrade. And then, okay, that's gonna be what I was looking for. So if I can get another Wi-Fi antenna, the reason why I would possibly want to get two is, do you see it's got the 2 slots over here? So I could do one and then get another for better signal propagation. So I'm curious how much these, how I can get these. Egerio. I could probably be fine with the one Wi-Fi antenna, to be honest. But they have, it looks like, triple band over here. I just need to find out the connector. It looks like it. Copy image link. See, what I'm trying to see is the model number. Just can't make that out. I'll hit up their support and find out. Now, the other thing they did was they added a new backplate. Let me see if I can find that. Close that. Let's see if I can find the backplate they had. Yeah, so they made a new backplate because the original one that I had here had issues with Wi-Fi signal propagation because of, they made a mistake and they made these solid PCBs to have copper all the way through, so they Faraday caged it. This was the original back. I went with full aluminum for mine for cooling reasons, but I'm curious if they fixed the issue. Because originally the issue was you could tell it was a thin layer of copper, then PCB, thin layer of copper, then PCB, so it kind of insulated. So I'm curious if they fixed that issue. But then again, this is PCB material in the back with just a little bit of copper showing through. So I may buy this as well to look at it. What's your opinion on Hyperland? I haven't really played with Hyperland. But yeah, laptop is huh. I have a feeling I may have to reinstall the OS on this. Because it had through an error. Yeah, I may reinstall the OS on this little guy. We'll do that another time. We gotta remember how to do that. Have you seen the Asus ROG Ally X? Yes, I have. Let's see. Reinstall MNT Pocket Reform. What are the OS options for it? Well, there's Linux, and there's Linux. And, did I mention Linux? Okay. They have a, few options. They have, basically this. Reform tools. Okay, here we are. Basically, you can run the script to install whatever you want. But basically, they run a Debian that sets everything up. Yeah, I'll have to go through the notes to reinstall everything, but so I need to run it through an SD card to reinstall everything. But we'll figure this out soon. Probably not tonight. I just hope there's not an issue when I reboot the thing. Okay, it's rebooting. I did not like the screen messed up, it looked like. Had like a bunch of weird lines displaying the text from a reboot. I had to like power it off. and then power it back on. Oh, it's booting. It's not a bad little device when you consider what it is, but I knew straight up when I was getting it that there was definitely going to need to be some tinkering. I just slacked on it for so long because I just wasn't in a good headspace for a long time. And that'll mess you up. Okay, so we're upgrading fonts, some other things, and trying to get a new kernel running in there. We'll figure it out. Any tips on a fresh install of cubes? Should I do core boot or skip it? Core boot is an interesting concept. I run it basically off a fork called Pure Boot. But whether you want to do core boot or not, that's more of a personal choice. I think there's some advantages there, especially if you can get core boot and heads working. But for fresh install cubes, the thing that I tell people is, before you just install cubes, sit down and think how you want to map it. I think I have a diagram here. Let me see if I can show you. Discard changes, documents. Did I back this up? Nope. Basically, what you need to think about is, what apps are you going to be using in Cubes OS? How do you want it architected and everything? So, like, out the box, it comes with, you know, your standard personal, untrusted, all that stuff. Start thinking about, like, okay, do you want to have your social media communication apps all in one VM? Do you want to have multiple VMs? So, like, what I did is I have one for Discord, one for Signal, one for my other Signal, for both of my phones. I have two different signals. And then I just have a different container for different things. And then, of course, I've got Tor and Whonex, but then I've also got the Monero wallets on there. So it's one of those, like, sit down and think about all the things you do with your computer and how you want to have it configured. Plan ahead. That's just basically what I'm getting at with it. The biggest pain with cubes is just the setup of everything. You know, only putting a few batches together depending on usage. Yeah, it depends on how you want your things to flow. That's the main thing I would say out of everything. I find it interesting the Wi-Fi is add. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to set up mobile broadband. So I'm gonna have to figure that out. I'll go through that part later. I just don't want to pull out the search for the SIM card right now. We'll get that step next. Anytime. But we at least have some of our antennas and everything set up. Oh god, that's a little bit warm. Yeah, I think the Wi-Fi chip is what's overheating in that. I think that's what's causing the issues. So I think once I get a separate Wi-Fi card, that should remedy the issues we have. Unfortunately, that's not going to make it in time for DEF CON. We'll see about getting that to be my DEF CON little mini note-taking device. Because that's really my goal, is for having a little laptop that I can just travel around and just have that in my lap. But if I could just have that with straight cell data, that should be fine too. Because then I wouldn't really be connecting to any of the Wi-Fi, and all I would need it for is browsing the internet and not doing anything really that major. But yeah, and then I still got to sit down and record a few YouTube videos. I think I'll have a YouTube video about setting up RF Hunter. I know we did it in a stream many months ago. I lost my RF Hunter that I set up originally, so I bought another one. So this can help you, not RF Hunter, Ray Hunter. So we can track down stingrays and all that stuff. I'm basically trying to still bring toys. I may bring my Flipper Zero. I just don't know if I'm gonna do much with it. Because the Flipper Zero is like a fun toy. I know there's like someone is floating some firmware out there that they've apparently figured out how to copy the rolling keys inside your key fob and all that. I haven't been able to independently test that myself. I got to delve into that. What are stingrays? Stingrays are the colloquial name that we have for man-in-the-middle devices that are often used by law enforcement to intercede, is it intercede? Basically to man-in-the-middle your cell phone connection. And stingrays will often also downgrade your connection from like 5G, 4G to 2G, because there's like weaknesses they have around there in 2G. So yeah, they're definitely a problem. And it's not just law enforcement. It's rare cases of individuals running stingrays. They are highly illegal unless you're a law enforcement. So the EFF released a firmware or a tool that you can set up on this guy to get that going. So I gotta set that up eventually. I'll probably do that this week while I got time. And then yeah. Okay, nature's calling right now, so we're gonna take a quick bathroom break for like 3 or 4 minutes. I'm gonna roll ads. You're not missing anything. I just gotta go hit the head. So I will be right back. And I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm really, really back. But yeah, alright. Now, I've been trying to get back on the grind for, Warframe and everything. I took a 2-year hiatus from that game. I think I just got really burned out from it, doing the grind. But then decided to get back into it. I do want to play Death Stranding. I've never played 1 or 2. I'll see about that. I think it's on PC. I think I'll play that when I get back from DEF CON. I got so many games I want to go through and play. This is one of those times where I kind of wish that I was a, a full-time streamer, that I could actually just do gaming on Linux and cybersecurity all day long. But I gotta go out and have a real job. 'Cause I'm a real boy. But on the other hand, I kind of don't wanna, I mean, it's like one of those things, like, everyone wants to be a streamer, but at the same time, I'm like, do I want to? Because I kind of like the idea of me going out and, actually doing work and keeping on top of my job and everything, so I stay grounded to what's out there. But I digress. Alright, so let's see.
Front, left.
Making sure the audio works.
Front, left. Front, right.
Okay, audio's working. And then we can open up the Steam. Get everything. Mute the background. Go with some Rob Zombie today. So. Rob Zombie's always a good choice. I find it funny that I had Warframe installed for 2 years, and then, like, for some reason it broke and I just had to reinstall it and it worked again. Apparently there's some updates. Alright, we're just logging in.
A new quest is available in your codex.
Eventually I gotta sit down and do the, long, quests that they have. Problem always, just don't have the time a lot of times to, like, sit down and grind the, things as they show them. Oh, what's over here? You play rock music. This is Rob Zombie. I grew up with Rob Zombie. I love Rob Zombie. I went to go see his concert recently when I was at Sonic Temple.
Let's go on the offensive.
What the hell's around this corner? I guess we got one other dude here. Wait, where's the thing for the door?
Stay focused.
Hey, thanks for subscribing.
Approaching.
For the lowest. Warframe is strong.
Well, I guess we just gotta go around killing a bunch of dudes. I didn't even pay attention to what the mission was. I just hopped in.
Let's go. For the tenant.
Alright, cool. Got that dude.
The enemy is broken. Well done. Now get to extraction. You found the first resource cache. I'm detecting 2 more faint hints.
Alright, got a quarter click that way. Yeah, my Durango. Number 95. Switching to the ultra line never. That's a horror show. Never gonna stop me, never gonna stop. Never gonna stop me, never gonna stop. Never gonna stop me, never gonna stop. Never gonna stop me, never gonna stop.
Another job well executed.
The devil, ride the dinosaur.
You have new quests in your codex.
Never gonna stop me, never gonna stop. Never gonna stop me, never gonna stop. Never gonna stop me, never gonna stop. Scream if you want it, 'cause I want more. Scream if you want it,
A friendly
I
colony
want more.
distance artillery barrage for several days. I've traced the attack back to an experimental cannon on the Queen's fortress. Break in and silence the gun. Pick up that multicoil. You'll use it to breach the gates.
What the?
The Navar cannon has a massive range, capable
That
of...
was just like messing up my depth perception for some reason.
Now, they've been testing conventional ammunition, but we know that they are about to switch to devastating tectonic munitions. You can't let that happen.
Alright, so I guess we gotta go to the machine. Oh, it's some automated defenses. Yeah. Do you love me?
Plant the multicoil on the doors.
Helter Skelter.
It's the locking mechanism.
Helter Skelter. Helter Skelter. Alright, gate's almost breached.
The gates are down. Get to the Navar cannon.
Is this schedule 1? No, this is not.
They're priming one last shot with a tectonic ground that is capable of destroying.
I just use that because,
Do not let that happen.
TikTok censorship system is like so broken. And I noticed if you put schedule 1 down, then they don't seem to hit you as hard for like different things. This is Warframe, by the way.
The cannon is priming for a tectonic shot. Hurry, disable the cannon systems before it fires.
Like to get up close and personal. I think I went the wrong way. Nope.
You did it. The Navar cannon is out of operation, but you're not done yet. Find the command center. The command center controls the Navar cannon's telemetry systems. Use it to take out that galleon. This is the command center. You'll need to locate all 3 telemetry keys. That's the first key.
Guess I gotta go get that. I'm in the record they kill. Yeah, yeah, that's wrong. Yeah, I'm the super beast. Yeah, I'm the...
You found a key. Take it to the console.
Alright, let's get to the console. I feel like I'm just going in circles.
That's it. We have
There we go.
translation. Console while I reprogram the cannon's telemetry.
Hell yeah, I'm the one that you wanted. Hell yeah, I'm the super beast. Hell yeah, I'm the one that you wanted. Hell yeah, I'm the super beast.
Done. The cannon's telemetry has been reconfigured. Return to the cannon and pull the trigger.
Alright, guess we gotta go get that cannon now. Alright. Big boy's firing.
Direct hit. The galleon has been obliterated. Now return to the telemetry system and make sure the cannon stays silent.
Alright, so we gotta destroy the targeting system. Let's go. Driving, rolling.
The targeting mechanism is out of commission. The cannon is useless now. The Grenier will think long and hard before trying to use this weapon again.
Alright, quarter click out. Let's go.
Mission complete. Excellent work.
There we go. Driving, 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 blacktop rolling, driving, 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 blacktop rolling.
A new quest is available in your codex.
Put some Jimi Hendrix on. This one seems like it's gonna be tough. Freedom, 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 freedom.
The Queens are attempting to distill, and we can't take the chance that they might be successful. Release this poison into the operation and defend the apparatus for as long as possible.
All right, we got waves.
Let's go.
Hold on tight. The Grenier are going to do everything in their power to destroy the apparatus and salvage the
My progeny seemed to do a good job of that.
Attack us and we will counter.
I think that turret's like invulnerable. I mean,
What's in this sludge, and why do the Queens think they can make Kuva from it?
Come on.
don't know why I can't wall climb that, but
Extraction is ready. unless
Let's keep the
you
battle on.
the enemy. Keep fighting. Another opportunity to extract will appear soon.
For the Tenno.
Come on. Come on.
For the Lotus.
Oh, come on. Get that focus over here.
Let's go on the offensive.
Alright. I think this is the final wave before the next extraction opportunity.
Reinforcements available. Do you choose to leave
Let's
now?
see what we can do for another 3.
Continue to defend. You will be rewarded for your bravery.
Move and strike. We have to win this.
What shirt do I have? I have a Herman Miller Air on.
Attack us and we will counter. For the Lotus.
Alright, let's see. What next? God damn it. Alright.
Reinforcements available. Do you choose to leave now or continue fighting? That's the last of them. Objective is
Cool.
Let's-
Cleared that out.
Let's go on the offensive.
A new quest is available in your codex.
Alright, let's see what's next. Let's at least just do the regular mobile defense. I can do the relic ones later. I'm just trying to clear parts of the map out. Because I don't think I've actually done this whole Kuva Fortress or anything. I do need to actually, like, do the missions and everything. I think one of these days I'll actually come in here early. Stay on a weekend, do 5-6 hours where we actually can grind through.
This is a mobile defense mission. You must deliver payloads and defend enough.
Warframe native to Linux. Not native, but
Be prepared for
it's
heavy
damn near
resistance.
close to it.
I can't do this without you.
It just runs through Proton.
Attack us and we will counter.
We've got to find a terminal. Proceed and prepare. Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching.
On it like paint.
May as well get my progeny out the way.
And prepare to defend.
Oh, what? Do I gotta get up higher?
Tenno. This will take a moment. Still working on it. Continue to defend.
Come on.
Terminal hacked. Keep moving.
That was a close one.
All right, let's get moving.
Location reached. Drop me in and defend our position. Heads up. Our assault team is headed your way. Tenno. This will take...
Or the Lotus. Or the Tenno.
Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching. Still working on it. Continue to defend.
Okay, come on. Got 20 seconds left. Just gave him the smackdown.
The odds were against us, Tenno, but we did it. Mission complete.
Let's go on the offensive.
We still got a little bit of a ways to run.
Let's go.
Play Warframe and literally just got into it. Yeah, I stopped playing it like 2 years ago, and then I just got back into it a little while ago. Okay, what the hell way am I supposed to go? Well, I'm doing everything solo because I don't have enough to... I'm not good enough to join public. Yeah, I get that. But there's a few Warframe people inside of, my Discord, so, eventually I'll probably, work, on, collaborating with a few people that, want to play Warframe. I'm not that far into it, and my issue is I don't really have, too much time to devote to the, certain missions, because, like, some of the missions, you need a few hours at a time, and you can't just, like, stop them.
Let's go defensive.
Ooh, bitch, get out the way. Get out the way, bitch, get out the way.
Another job well executed.
Still haven't used my plat or a bunch of other things. How's the tutorial going?
I know. You're
Oh, I got my operator. I'm past the tutorial. I'm still at the point of I don't know what the hell I'm doing half the time, though. Made it to Steel Path already? I don't remember which one that is. I stopped playing like 2 years ago, so I forgot like a bunch of the things I was doing, and I'm relearning a bunch of it too.
Our intel suggests that our person of interest is in the vicinity. Search for the hostage and bring him home.
Move and strike. We have to win this.
Steel Path is when you finish the star chart and get to do all the stuff off of easy mode. Star chart. I don't know.
Telling what they
Like I said, I haven't really
You need to find the holding cell immediately.
remember a bunch of the stuff.
Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching.
Let's go.
What's up? A Grenier assault team is headed your way.
It's fun. You get to cry as fast as you pull it jump.
Queens will not be pleased. Clone rot has gone too far. Send word.
Yep, thanks for welcoming back. Alright.
Queen chosen soldier. Greatness awaits you. Greatness. Or perhaps death.
You are approaching the holding area. Careful. If the wardens detect you, they will surely initiate the execution sequence.
I hate these frickin' sneaking around missions.
Kigar en gigidir, maggots.
For the tenor.
Hurry up. You are running out of time.
I thought I was gonna die in
You've located the passage. Escort the prisoner to the extraction point, and I'll take care of the rest.
Alright, cool. So let's get through.
Stay focused. There's a heavy approaching.
bleeding out.
God damn, that was annoying.
I'm down.
Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching. Watch yourself. Here are on the way.
Come on.
Okay, we're almost there. There we go.
The captive has been secured. You've done your part, Tenno. We'll take it from here.
Sweet.
A new quest is available in your codex.
Your poison did not kill. I evolved. You are no poisoner. You lie. You are a lie.
Who's that clown? I don't know. Alright. Let's at least get one more mission done for the night.
Attack us and we will counter.
First key. Right. Find a matching conduit. Demo unit coming in fast. That thing bows and you can kiss the conduit goodbye.
Let's go.
They killed the conduit.
Transference still holding. Let's go on the offensive. For the tenant.
God damn.
Routine subverted and you're juiced. Nice. Should have been a boffin. This they call it.
Come on.
Baking squared away. Right. Same again. Safety's off. We kicked a clown car. Here we go. Way ahead of you. Time to hit the pub.
All right. I don't know how much more I have to do to get another mastery rank.
Forgotten adversary. Your crime of existence.
What I don't understand is, what do I have to do to get to the Silver Seeker rank?
Flash and bite. The day is won. Let's check what's next.
Ugh.
Operator.
Yeah.
Ordis wonders,
Ugh.
what are you thinking about?
It's been a good little stream here. I definitely have to spend a little bit more time, getting, back into Warframe, because I know I have to do the missions and all that stuff. I just haven't had the time been able to dedicate to it with all the projects I have going on. Maybe after DEF CON we'll focus on it, but also I've been wanting to do Death Stranding and a few other games, so it's kind of hard to keep on top of, you know, your entire library when you actually have a real job and everything. Must be nice to be able to play video games all day, you know, with some of these streamers, but to be fair, I think I'd go crazy personally if, I only had to play video games and stream and all that stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like making content and everything, and it'd be nice if, you know, it becomes a nice little job, but I don't know. I like the whole cybersecurity gig. We'll see where that goes in the next year or two for my content creation stuff, but anyway, we're on the countdown for DEF CON. And if you haven't already, make sure to follow me on all of my different socials. I'm on TikTok, I'm on Blue Sky, I'm on Mastodon, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Twitch, the Kick, and everything like that. And then, of course, we have the Discord and the Matrix server, which are all linked in the bio for all of you to go check out. So if you haven't already, go check it out. I try to make a video at least once a week, once every other week, about different things. And, of course, we hang out on stream. And then when I'm at DEF CON in, like, what is it, 2 weeks? Can't believe it's already almost 2 weeks away. There will not be any streams for that week. There will not be a movie night as well in the Discord during that, while I'm at DEF CON. I may do some IRL streams. They'll probably be on Twitch, just to give you all a heads up. Not sure if I will be streaming to TikTok with them. Sorry, that's just how it is. I won't have my laptop to do the streaming and multi-stream casting and everything like I do with the desktop over here. So, yep. But stay safe. I love y'all. Happy hacking. And if you're over on Twitch, stick around for the raid.